What up, guys? So I'm here with our new brown belt, Brandon. He's no longer as much of a sandbagger as everybody was getting upset about on the internet, right? He's now a brown belt. We just promoted him. And I figured while he was here, we would do some videos. And one of the things that I figured we would talk about is some old man takedowns for old dudes. So I'm getting older. I'm 40. And so, you know, I don't mind, I can still shoot, but, you know, I'm working a lot more upper body stuff that doesn't require the shooting now to try to, you know, adjust my game into the old man years so I can keep training for a long time. And he's worked with a lot of old dudes and helped make them to where they can play takedowns and things like that, even if they don't want to bang their knees on the ground. And so we got 2 old man takedowns for you guys. And by the way, if you guys want to follow Brandon and get some information on your wrestling or anything that he has going on, because again, he's a very active competitor. Brandon, where can they find you?
YouTube, Brandon Reed Wrestling for Jiu-Jitsu. Instagram, Brandon Reed 3X.
Cool. Let's jump into it. So I'll let Brandon go first, and then I'll go afterwards. So let's check it out. Let's see what you got.
All right, guys. So I really love Snatch singles. I do them a lot, and of course, like Chewy said, I've taught a lot of people. I even have a full instructional on upper body takedowns. You guys can find that wherever. But obviously, a big difference between a snatch single and a sweep single is I don't actually have to hit my knee on the ground, so it's a great takedown. How I like to snatch, to do my snatch single is my partner has a collar tie, which means he has any type of grip on my neck, essentially. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hand over top my partner's head, and my goal is to pull my partner's ear to his shoulder. Obviously, depending on the resistance in life, the amount that you can pull is going to vary, but still, you get the idea. From here, I'm going to use any sort of cross post, meaning I can go palm down, I can go palm up. It doesn't matter. They're doing the same exact thing, but all I'm trying to do is keep my partner's elbow from coming down, okay? So I personally prefer going palm up or thumb up here, and this is going to prevent my partner's arm from coming down and down blocking. At the same time, as I'm doing my level change, I'm dropping my butt, right? I'm not reaching down like this. Especially old guys, you're gonna get hurt really easy trying to do, yeah, exactly. Or even if you grab a person's leg like this, right, and he steps his leg down. A guy at H2O, one of the gyms I taught at, he tore his labrum.
Wow.
Because he did a single leg like this, and the dude just
such in a bad position.
The dude just stomped completely exposed.
Opposed to getting to like a good position, like
right here, I'm good.
Look at his back, how straight it is and tight. He's in a good athletic position.
Yeah. So this is the big thing. I know I'm talking a lot, but if you don't want to get hurt, be very disciplined about dropping that butt, okay? Instead of reaching with your head down and your butt up. So anyways, he's here, I come over top, I pull. I'm gonna use any level of a cross post. I can go thumb out, thumb in, doesn't matter. I'm gonna step on my partner's toe just for a second. Here. Now I'm gonna shoot my hands in. My top hand is gonna go knuckles up. Bottom hand's gonna go knuckles down, right? From here, I'm gonna push weight onto my partner's back leg, boom. Now, usually there's this reaction where my partner is going to start to grab his leg. We call this a whizzer. What I really like is I've been studying a lot of Austin Gomez recently, and when people get here, he goes against tradition in wrestling and he goes body lock, right? So from here, I'm just going to go body lock. I don't care how you lock your hands. Again, it's going to vary depending on how big your partner is, right? Chewy's not that thick, so I can pretty much lock it however I want, right? But on some bigger guys, yeah, compared to me.
Compared to some people, I'm pretty thick. Yeah, you know, as like a 190 pounder or whatever, but you're like 250 pounds. What do you expect? It's all relative.
It's all relative. But I really like the S grip where I'm pulling into my partner's ribs and trying to keep my head up. From here, because my partner's leg on the outside, Chewy's a good wrestler, so he's doing the right thing. When your partner's leg gets on the outside, you want to try to step over it. Now, if a guy sucks and he just keeps his leg down, you can just shuck him down. But assuming the guy has pretty proper reactions, he's going to come here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to start to step my back leg forward. I'm gonna take a big step behind my partner, and I'm essentially chopping at the back of my partner's knee and punching my shoulders into my partner's stomach. Boom, here. From there, yeah, it's very powerful. And it's like, obviously there's always risk of like Harai Goshi Uchimata or whatever, but if you do this with good proper timing, they're not doing anything to you.
Well, especially if you're doing this almost like if you've drilled this enough to where it's like it's unbroken. Because obviously you get there and you sit. That's one thing. But if you move from one thing to the other so quickly, I'm not going to be able to get into a planted position.
Exactly, because obviously if we're doing anything in isolation, you're like, oh, look at this counter, this counter, this counter. But the reality is, if you're actually hitting this hard and fast, you're going to get it. So I'll do it again on this side. I come over top. I post and I step on the foot to prevent my partner from stepping back. This is only gonna give me about a second, but it works. Boom, top hands coming through. I'm locking my hands. If my partner brings his leg to the outside and grabs his thigh, I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the body lock. I don't care what your grip is. From here, I'm stepping my back leg in and my other leg back. As I step that leg back, I'm gonna be twisting and pushing, using my head to get on top. But this is just one of my favorite ways to take someone down without really having to hit my knees. It's very low energy. I just call it a snatch shingle body lock.
Well, and what I like about that too is it'll play off something I'm going to talk about in a second. Like when you, you know, this happens whether you're old or not in jiu-jitsu. Like a lot of times in jiu-jitsu, what you see a lot of is just like boom, boom, lots of collar ties, right? Guys will get collar ties, but they don't really do much with it. You see it all the time where the guys are getting like right here. And so this is playing off of a really common response you'll get. And when he brings my head to my shoulder, it really weakens my collar tie grip. Exactly. So I really like that. It plays right off of it. So my option here is kind of like a similar situation where the guy gets a collar tie, right? So he gets into this collar tie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up just a basic thumb block here. And again, all I'm doing is keeping this pushed back. You could obviously start like this if you wanted to, but I'm going to try to grab the inside of the tricep in a second. So I'm going to use this. This will just help sort of keep a little bit of distance here. So if he starts trying to like shoot up underneath me, I can begin to use this as a post. And typically I'll have my hand here low for a second. Now when I'm ready, I'll start to go up and get a hold of my own collar tie. So he has a collar tie, I have a collar tie. Now what I want to have happen is I want to get him heavy on the foot on the same side as his collar tie. So whether he's back or not, I'm going to circle away from it. So what I'm going to try to do is start to either push into him so that he wants to drive back into me so I can step, or I'll start circling away so he starts to shift. And again, when I'm looking at this position, if you guys start trying to do this, the first thing that like I'm looking for is if I can get him to switch his stance a little bit, or even just get a little heavier on the foot. You know, I'm not going to go for this if he's not pushing into me, or if I start circling, if he doesn't get heavy on that foot at least a little bit. So from here, I'm in position, I start driving into him, I'm circling away, and then from there, the movement is going to be thumb block here to the inside of the tricep, and I'm stepping out and turning away, right? Don't think about trying to like pull the arm up so much. The arm will get cleared by the shoulders when I'm doing this. And then the tricep and the head, we pull this at the same time. Also, as I'm in this position, my foot is going to step slightly on the outside of his. So as I'm circling here, he's stepping, I'm stepping on the outside, and then from here, boom, 1, 2. And then from here, you guys can do whatever you want to. You can do a basic mat return. We can do a trip, whatever type of finish you want to do from that position. But you can get around to the back, right? So again, we're here in position. He locks up. Thumb post here. I can block him here, keeping this hand down. So if I'm afraid he's going to shoot, I can use this to block. Once I feel comfortable in the position, get my own collar tie. I'm going to begin to circle away. He starts to get the step. Boom. Right in position. And again, I really like that using, I actually picked up the thumb block in one of your videos. I was like, wow, I was just like, it's a good grip. Because again, instead of playing this collar tie game all the time, where again, it's fine, but now I'm attached to him and he has a lot of options. Yeah. If I want to just kind of keep a little bit of distance on a better wrestler sometimes.
I can't shoot. Like, I can shoot, you just
right here. Because like last night when we were playing, I know you were working some stuff. That at least allowed me a little bit of distance here to stop you from just shooting in and just blasting me through the air. 100%. But again, we get in here in this position. I can block for a second when I'm ready to go. I can either drive into him straight to see if he'll push back, or I'll circle away. Boom, there it is. We go. And again, that movement's real funky at first. You're pulling the head down and you're going from collar tie to the tricep and you're stepping, and you have to practice it. I know that a lot of times I've seen this more and more with jiu-jitsu practitioners are like, I don't want to drill, I just want to like roll or whatever. It's good in the beginning to like, at least to get your hands like on the technique to actually get a feel for it. It really helps to drill that stuff, because going from like here to here quickly, like you have to drill that to get that movement down. But anything you want to add to it? Because obviously you know this stuff better than me.
You taught it better than I could.
Cool. So guys, those are 2 takedowns for old dudes. Now again, as I said, I'm an old dude and I'm trying to shift my game, and more in my jiu-jitsu is becoming that old style jiu-jitsu where I can slow down the game and still be competitive. And then Brandon has worked with a lot of older guys. You actually have an instructional that's like
takedowns for older grapplers.
It's takedowns for older grapplers. Basically, he made it a few years ago when he was at the gym. He was doing all these private lessons with old guys, and was like, all right, let's compile those together, and now we got a series. So if you guys want to check that out, check out his page. Obviously, there's a lot of great wrestling on there. I like looking at it for my own self, but he also has that instructional if you want to get more of a curated like experience and have it all laid out for you. But otherwise, bro, congratulations on your brown belt. Good seeing you. And I'll talk to you guys next time.